Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am making this video to kind of document my journey of going to my first ever hackathon. So yeah, I don't know why you're watching this video or how you found it, but welcome. The year is 2023 and it's about 25th of March, I believe, or maybe 24th. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'll do this video like one shot most likely, and it most likely suck, which is fine. I learned that I shouldn't be as precious with the quality of the stuff that I do, especially at the beginning. So yeah, just gonna ship it. And yeah, actually, I almost ended up not making this video because I got too thoughtful about how it would look like and this and that. But then I listened to this interesting podcast with Chan, and he was telling he was explaining the concept of having a content bank, which is, long story short, I'm getting like off track already. Anyway, the content bank is basically you documenting different things, different stories that are interesting from your life, and then at some point people will want to learn more about you and they'll have this like rabbit hole. But anyway, okay, back to the topic. Right, talking about ETH Global and more specifically ETH London. So sharing the whole journey of everything. So ETH London happened last week, and the first kind of like leg of the event was ETH Pragma, which is kind of like this more intimate event, as they call it, and it's more like focus on talks, and Vitalik was there and a bunch of other like kind of higher end people, Stani, the guy from Chainlink, Sergey, and yeah, it's more focused on like speaking. There's nice food as well, and obviously like some networking and whatnot, but it was mostly focused on this kind of like 1 day talks, and yeah, that was cool. I didn't get much out of that. It was interesting, but it was also kind of like boring, and I hope not many people don't get offended by that. But yeah, and yeah, a lot of people were on the phones as well. Even when Vitalik was speaking, I noticed that people were on their phones, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, if I'm ever giving a talk and I see people on their phones, I'll be like, do you know what? If Vitalik gets phone treatment when he does his talks, then I'm not gonna be mad. And yeah, that was right after the Denkan update as well, the 4844. So yeah, anyway, how the hackathon itself was. So pretty interesting. So I'll start with why I decided to go to the hackathon. So for context, we're in like bull market right now, and hackathon is like all the way in London. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going there for networking? No. That's old school. I'm going there for intelligence gathering. That's right. So, well, you're not gonna know because I'm quite private about these things. But we've been cooking over here in Scotland, and we're hosting these events. Things are going well. We're speaking with some big entities, and I know that in the future we will level up to a point where we will want to host our own hackathon. So I was like, cool. I also want to be around builders. I want to see like what's being cooked, and I was like, okay, cool. Like, I get to be around builders and learn how a hackathon is structured and organized. Like, and I maybe make some friends. Yeah, of course. So yeah, boom, went there. So I was taking notes, man. I was taking like mental notes of everything that was going on, from how they were treated. So I also even volunteered, and yeah, so everything from, you know, how the structure was done, how we communicated, when people had to report, how the shifts were, if people were getting food, about how they did the bracelets, the whole thing. I was studying, man, taking notes, and yeah, loved it. Great kind of operation, and yeah, learned a good bunch. So in terms of the hackathon itself, first of all, I've never been to a hackathon, which is the reason why I'm making this video, because this was my first. I was kind of like mind blown, man. Like, it's main kind of impressions, and I'm kind of glitching now because I remember I already wrote an article about this, but I should have read it before recording this video, and I didn't. Just kind of like shooting from the hip. Yeah, so it was like, first of all, it's chill, it's relaxed. People are not going there to network. People are going there to literally build, and that was pretty interesting. Also, oh my god, I'm all over the place, but while I'm on this point, I'd love to say, like, when people were doing their pitches in front of the judges, one of the criteria was that it literally didn't have to make any financial sense. So they didn't have to say like, cool, this is how we would make money. They were like, cool, this is the tech. Talk to me about the tech. And I was like, okay, cool. That's nice. Let me get some water. yeah, fun fact, I got this. Well, I bought it. It's metal. I bought it when I got my passport, UK passport, my ceremony. Anyway, back to it. Oh yeah, where was I? I was like, yes. So no focus on the actual business mechanics of this. It was just like pure build. Cool. So how is it like? So it was the start of Friday. People started rolling in. At the start, it was like really, really busy. I was there doing like this whole like, oh, go to desk number 4, number 5, go to my colleague there. Boom, boom, boom. Super in the Zoom, in the mix, and yeah, it was quite fun. Like all the volunteers there on the ground floor in the trenches, and yeah, scanning, volunteering, like putting the name tags on people. Yeah, it was pretty fun, pretty fun. And then after that, things first like quiet down on the ground floor, and yeah, so everyone like rolled up. They volunteered. They signed up, and then they went upstairs, which is like a huge building. It was like in a warehouse in London, and yeah. So the way it worked was like there was like huge tables, like table on table on table, and they were like going like long like that, and yeah, people were just like sitting and coding, mostly coding. That was like, it was so cool, man. Like the energy was like all these people like tinkering, and you know, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. I'd love to be in these trenches building alongside these people. But yeah, so that was cool. There were quite a lot of sponsors. So, I'm not good at names, but like Chili's, Arbitrum, Cello, ENS, loads and loads. And a lot of these sponsors, they brought in their DevRel people. Reason for that is because all these sponsors, they wanted to attract developers, and who best to speak to the developers than the DevRel people, the developer relationships people. So that was pretty cool. That's when I learned that developer relationships people are super valuable, and they get to travel a lot and speak to people, and they don't have to be ultra mega technical. In my understanding, these people have to know how to code, and maybe some of them had even coded in the past for a living, but then they moved away, and yeah, all of them were also pretty social. They were pretty, extroverted. They could speak with people, but they also had that technical brain. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And yeah, at the start of the event, there was obviously a stage, and there's were nice talks. Kartik is the guy that organizes it. Well, not Kartik himself, but like Kartik and the whole ETH Global team. But he was the one doing the talks, so that was awesome. Great to see some hype talks, and then yeah, people got to coding. There was food, and yeah. What was really, really interesting, and something that I hadn't experienced up until now, is that people actually, don't sleep. I was like, damn, okay, that's pretty cool. It was awesome to see the second day, especially towards like mid-afternoon or like afternoon. Some people were literally like, woo, like that, and like tired. And I was like, damn, okay, that's hard work right there. So I like that. But there were also beds, inflatable beds in one of the rooms. I think there were about 20, and yeah, some people had slept over. Some people had gone home, maybe. I don't know. Like that's the thing. I don't know how the vibe is from the builders level. So I'd love to find that out in the future. And yeah, second day was also pretty cool. And then the last one was the most hype. That was like when all these hackers had submitted their projects, and they were showing them to the judges. So the way it worked is we had 10 booths. And then there was a volunteer per booth. And alongside the volunteer was like, we were keeping track of time and like making sure that everything's good. And the flow of participants. And then there were 2 judges that had to look at the presentation. The hacker had 7 minutes. 4 of these were to do the demo, and 3 of those were for Q&A. Well, obviously, like some hackers went like 5 minutes, and they had 2 minutes for Q&A. Anyway, so that was pretty cool. Got to see some cool stuff. And yeah, great presentations. A lot of them were like extremely technical. I noticed that like these people they speak technical language. So yeah, and another thing by the way that I noticed, I'll put in there, is that they love talking about their ideas. They absolutely love it. I went around and literally like poked people and were like, hey, can you, what are you building? Well, we'd love to know more. And they were like super open to doing that, even though I was like interrupting them. Like, there was this guy like typing away, and I'm just kind of like waiting for him to like finish this line of code so I can top him. And he finished, and I'm like, yo, hey, what are you doing, man? So yeah, they were all like, nobody told me to like fuck off. I asked about like 5-6 people. But yeah, the booths were really nice, where you know, these sponsors were, they were giving ideas. They weren't giving ideas, they were answering your questions and kind of discussing. Super friendly. And yeah, they had merch. If you're needing merch at a hackathon, go there the first day. Like literally after that, it'll be done. So yeah, first day for merch. Oh shit. And I need to make a wish. Ooh, I'm gonna make a wish. Look at a big yeah, okay. Cool. There you go. Got my wish there. Oh yeah, merch. I work for Ethereum. No, I work on Ethereum. Even though I don't. But yes, shout out Nethermind, I believe is the name of the company. But yeah, nice hoodie, super comfy. Right, where are we? Oh yes, so we saw these pitches. They were awesome. And then all these judges, they had to, well, judge and say like, cool, this is what we liked and this is what we didn't. And by the way it worked is that each of these sponsors were giving away prizes for the builders. So that's how these builders were incentivized to build on top of these things. So for example, build on top of ENS, or build on top of base, or on top of frames. I'll share a few other observations after that about like what people built most on. And yeah, so the way it worked after that was like they got feedback, and then everyone kind of disappeared. Well, not disappeared, they were there, but it was like low down. And then we moved to the most fun part, which was the end. And that's when the big winners are, no, so before the big winners, well, I don't remember exactly, but it was like the big winners and presentations. So let's start with the presentations. I'm not exactly sure which way around it was, but basically the finalists, yeah. So it was first the finalists. So they were pitching. It was, I'm not sure if it's like 10 people, but thereabouts, maybe 7, 8. And they were pitching their ideas in front of the whole kind of thing. And then I think there was a winner. Again, I don't fully remember, but yeah. Anyway, so that was pretty cool to see those pitches. I was like, yeah, this is awesome, man. In front of everyone, and these guys, they were killing it. Great pitches. And yeah, so then after that, everyone sat down, and what was happening after that was, yeah, the awards. So for example, each sponsor that had an award, they had allocated it to someone. So that was awesome. Like some people got up to, you know, they won multiple times from different sponsors. That was awesome. I was like, damn, okay, so like someone walked in there and made up to 10K in a week. Sorry, in a weekend, maybe even more than 10K. I'm sure it wouldn't be more than like 20, but yeah, no, it's all about like how well you did and how well you presented to get their rewards. I don't know. And yeah, so that was fascinating. I know a few people won multiple times. A few teams won multiple times. I was like, okay, these guys, they've done something right. And yeah, in terms of like what people were building most, it was a lot of stuff being built on base, a lot of frames, and a lot of it was on Nouns DAO. Yeah. So that's, I think, more or less kind of how it all went down. I'm definitely missing things, and in the future when I'm making these videos, I should probably put in like different pictures and kind of make sure that the story is a bit nicer and then it follows a plot. And there are definitely pictures, so I definitely can make this video better. But I got an extremely busy week, and I'm not flexing because I'm just like low-key a bit anxious about that. So I know that if I choose to make this video better, there's a good enough chance that I don't make the video at all. So I was like, let's just film it, make sure it's there, we'll ship it, and then maybe I'll make a refined video, because I definitely plan on writing or on doing an article about this from a newsletter. And then, well, it's not even a newsletter, it's a blog post at this point. So then maybe after that, because I know that will include pictures for sure, so maybe after that I'll put it. But in retrospect, what I should have done is that I should have recorded I should have been taking notes on my computer, kind of like writing the blog after every night, or maybe like straight after the event. But I didn't do that. But that's I'll tell you why. So and that's actually another thing that I could talk about. Is like you meet a lot of people at these places, and sometimes you just like connect with them on Telegram, and sometimes they don't give feedback. So a business idea could be that there is a like a networking app, and people connect with that, and there is like a profile of like, oh, here's me. So when you connect with someone, you don't just like read their Telegram name and like, who was that, whatever. You could have taken a picture, but do you remember really like what this person does? And I'm sure when they have like half a minute to give you an intro, they're leaving out a huge chunk of what they actually do. So, I definitely say there could be an app kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, we had these like QR codes, not QR codes, but NFC chips, codes, whatever, on our bracelets. And when you scanned it, you could connect with the person. But it was great. No, it was good, but it wasn't great. So anyway, but this app, would I build it? No. Do I recommend someone else builds it? Maybe as a public goods funding, because there isn't a clear revenue model for it. So yeah, it's like nice, but the pain points that it's solving is not really like huge. But it could work well. And I was thinking like maybe you sell it to the companies that are sending their BD people or events people, DevRels away to these events, so you can like connect these details. And so it could be like B2B, you selling to the company and the company is utilizing it with their employees. Anyway, so back to this. How I discovered this problem was I came home with about 40 telegrams, and I was like, damn, I don't remember some of these people, so I had to like look them up on Twitter or on LinkedIn, and then I put in my CRM, and I'm using Notion. That thing is slow. And anyway, basically it took me like 2 days to go through the whole list, and then message people, and some of them replied. I think most of them replied this time. Yeah, call it some of them. And some of them I need to not catch up on, but like follow up with again. And yeah, so where am I going with this? Yes, so the reason why I wasn't so focused on content was because I wanted to make sure that I'm doing these business things, and I'm following up with people, because ideally you have 2 days, in my mind, you have 2 days to follow up with people before they forget everything about the whole event. And yeah, and I spent the Monday there as well, got Tuesday here, so I was like Tuesday, Wednesday, literally like on the ball, following up with everyone. So anyway, I didn't have time for this. Well, I didn't prioritize. Of course I had time. And yeah, so this is my, I'm messing up now because I'm thinking about like damn. Yeah, this is my experience. I'm sure it could have been structured better and follow more flow and have a bunch of pictures, but anyway, there isn't anything like that. And this is as raw as it gets. And to be fair, this will be one of my worst YouTube videos, and that's okay. I'll look at it in a few years and be like, okay, cool, he shipped it. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't know what else to say. So yes, if you watched all this far, I'm gonna guess it's about 22 minutes. That's just like how it feels like. I don't know, but yeah, I'll probably think of more stuff. I'm not gonna add them, but yeah, there'll definitely be a blog in the description at some point. So yeah, anyway, cool. Thank you. See you.